How are you all, and welcome back to another episode of KCG Plays. My name is Kevin, and today we are continuing to play Floor 9 on Luck Be a Landlord. For anyone following along, the win-loss is currently 8 wins to 8 losses. Perfect 50% after yesterday's great run. We're back up to an even 50, so let's see if we can, using the same principles as yesterday, nudge that win percentage back over 50%. That's pretty much where I'll be happy with. Okay, so we're going to look for a shiny pebble and try and stack a bit of rares early on. That's always pretty good. Out of these 3, I'm going to go with 3-sided dice. It's worth 2. There's a few interesting synergies to late game. I don't particularly want any of these, so let's skip them. Let's try and keep our deck lean and pretty decent. I'll take a bubble. It gives 2, removes itself, what's not to like. And we made the 25 rent pound with 7 left over. 50 now due in 5 spins. Lucky capsule is fantastic early on. That'll definitely give us a direction, hopefully, for our run. And swear jar, I think, is pretty decent early on as well. Okay, a geologist. That's great. Early geologist. This, if we can survive long enough to make this one into a win, we'll be doing well. Let's take a key. Okay, we need to take basically just what gives the most. We should be fine, but let's take a owl. It's slightly better than a diamond. Okay, yeah, we will make the next rent payment. Let's take a coal, so because of that. And the geologist making his first eat. So we made the 50 rent pound with 6 left over. 100 now due in 6 spins. Let's take a target because it's worth 2. And we did pick up an owl, so at the moment checkered flag is the best pick for us. We just need to survive long enough to grow this geologist. Okay, a bubble is worth 6 in total, so I'll take a milk instead. And hopefully that'll be worth more. Out of these, an owl is worth 3 every 2 spins, so 1.5 per turn, so let's take a second one. There's a geologist clearing out our pearls. We haven't been offered any ores or anything to feed the geologist, which is pretty shocking, but hopefully we can survive long enough. Let's take a bubble. Okay, we should definitely make the next rent payment. Let's take a pearl for the geologist, eating it straight away. That's fantastic. Up to 5, and we made the 100 rent payment with 14 left over. 150 now due in 6 spins. Out of these, we could take a bear. It's worth 2, and we'll take Mori the Rabbit versus Happy Hour. Both of these are pretty good. This makes wine worth 2. Let's take Mori the Rabbit though. That makes a rabbit worth 4. It makes rabbit fluff worth 3, making both of them pretty decent picks. Let's re-roll here, and let's take, we do have a key, so we can take a lockbox. Okay, we're getting about 20 per spin, which means we should make the next rent payment. Let's take the wealthy capsule just to be sure. And we'll take another milk. Still haven't found any ores for the geologist, which is shocking. Let's take a bronze arrow. Okay, that definitely helped make the next rent payment. We are actually in a little bit of trouble. Okay, let's take out of these. I don't particularly want any of them. Let's take a present, I guess. It's worth almost 1. Okay, and we did make the 150 rent payment just about. Only 5 left over. 225 now due in 7 spins. I'll take another lucky capsule, and I will take... We don't particularly want it. Our slots are pretty good, so I think actually I will take adoption paper. And this is worth 2 per turn, so we do have spaces left in our inventory, so let's take it. And let's skip all of these, and we could take a slot. It's just worth 3 on average. How are we doing inventory wise? We have 1 free space, 2 free spaces with the lucky capsule. Okay, we made 40 that turn. Let's take a sun. It's worth 3. It improves the flower. What's not to like? Okay, 26. Another shiny pebble for the geologist is great. Good hit there on the arrow. And we're making 4 spins to get about 120. which is about 30 per spin. We should make it based on our current, based on our current thing, we should definitely make it. Let's take a milk, and we're still at 20 symbols, so we don't need to remove anything yet. Okay, only 24 that time, that wasn't great. Let's take a reroll capsule. How's our inventory? 21 symbols. Okay, let's remove. Actually, we do have a shiny pebble left in it, so there's no need to remove anything yet. That was a decent hit there on the flower. 33. Not great. Let's re-roll and hope for something better. No luck. We could take a plum and we'll remove a 1 symbol. Okay, with the diamond, is this enough to get us through? We're just short, but luckily we do have swear jar, so we did make the 225 rent payment with 53 left over. We're not scaling fantastic. We're just not seeing the ores, the big ores we need to scale this geologist. And we don't. Let's re-roll here. We definitely need a sapphire for the geologist. It's pretty decent, and fish tank could be pretty good. How's our inventory? Still at 20 symbols. Okay, let's say we get about 40 per turn. That's 240. We should make the next rent payment. Let's skip this. Okay, that's great. Hitting the target. 50 on that turn, that's brilliant. Another shiny pebble for the geologist is pretty decent. 37 on that turn. Goldfish is pretty good, I think, just an extra 1 per turn. We don't have anything for the safe, so unfortunately the safe isn't working out. Out of these, I'll take a bubble just to fill up the empty space. Okay, we got 50 on that turn. We're starting to get there. I don't want a thief. I could take an owl. We have a few empties, and an owl is worth, still only worth 1.5, which is a bit short at this stage, so let's leave it. Hopefully we'll get something better. A big ore is exactly what we're looking for. Unfortunately, only 1 eat on the geologist, but we're up to 50 per turn, which is pretty decent for this scale. And we made the 300 red payment with 64 left over. 375 now due in 8 spins. If we get 50 per turn, we will make it. Pear is pretty good, as you could see from my last run. Pears are fantastic, but we don't have anything that buffs it, so I don't think it's worth taking. Hex of Hoarding. 30% chance of forcing us to add a symbol. Let's skip it. And we could take Rusty Gear, but it probably won't. It probably won't come into effect for us. We don't really have anything. Owls maybe, but I'll take Kyle the Kermit instead. It already plays into kind of what we're doing. It'll just make those shiny pebbles and those ores slightly better while they're waiting to get eaten. Honey is fantastic. It's worth 3, and we do actually have a bear, so just filling up those empties with really good items. Here I'll take a milk for the same reason. We have empties and the milk will eventually remove itself. And here I'll take a second bronze arrow, I think. Just more chance that one of the arrows will hit the geologist or the diamond. 96 on that turn, that's fantastic. Golem is exactly what we want, although rabbit would also have been pretty decent. I think golem will give us the scaling we need. And a tomb is fantastic. It's a rare, and it has a chance of giving us a 4 kind symbol, which is brilliant. Let's remove the cherry. Okay, and we don't want any of these, I don't think. They're all just worth 1. They don't really tie into any of our synergies. And again, we don't want a hex of draining or banana peel. My honey did get removed. Let's skip this. We've made rent, no problem at all. Good hit there on the arrow, getting the diamond. 49. So we made the 375 rent payment with 69 left over. Nice. 450 now due in 8 spins. If we get 50 per turn, which I think we are, we should make the next rent payment. Here's a pear. That's the second pear offered in this run. If we'd had a few farmers or something, this would be fantastic. Out of these, I think moon is the best. We do have some owls. I wouldn't mind picking up a rabbit, so moon is pretty good. And out of these, we removed kind, so kind on a string isn't great. Let's take an egg carton. That'll give us something else we can just add to the deck as an option. And we now have all our ores in play, which is brilliant. Let's take a shiny pebble and let's remove, what's our worst symbol? Is it cat? We do still have a milk, so we don't want to remove cat. Plum is worth 2. Like it is cat, and I do want to remove it, but I want to wait until it's drank the milk first. So I guess we will wait. Okay, let's take an egg for the egg carton. Yes, I was correct in that the cat has removed the milk, so let's take out the cat. Where are you? There you go. Perfect. Just more likely for the ores to roll in. I'd prefer if we got, instead of whitestone, we got something the geologist could eat, but I'm not worried too much. Do we want a rain? So at the moment we have 21 minus 3 minus 4 symbols. So we have 17 symbols. A rain will be worth 2, which it's not great at this stage of the game. And we're not particularly going flowers. Here's a sun hitting a owl. Again, not fantastic. Let's skip all of these. We should be fine for the next rent payment. Yeah, we're getting about 60 per turn. That's pretty decent. Do I want a key? Not particularly. Let's skip. We've also been offered loads of ninjas. Okay, there's a ruby. That's not too bad. And I don't want any of these. Let's skip all of these. Having a slight problem with my wireless mouse, but luckily it seems to be back. Okay, and do we want a second tomb? I wouldn't mind a second tomb. It gives 3, which is pretty decent, and it has a chance of adding spirits. And at this stage, so a normal spin is about 60, which is fantastic. 450, we made that with 110 left over. 575 now due in 9 spins. Hustling capsule is great. What was it? Ruby was also really good, but our deck is starting to look a bit full, so I don't really want to add a ruby. Hustling capsule just worth 1, and it doesn't take a space, which is brilliant. Tax evasion isn't great for us. And great pepper would probably be worth the most. Okay, how are we doing on this spin? So 68, and that was with the hustling capsule, so that's fantastic. We could use a hooligan and just destroy these tombs, but I think they're actually better off just being there as symbols to give 3. And then the geologist, if we can fill the board with symbols to give 3, then with the geologist we can, that'll kind of nudge us over to 70 is my current plan. Okay, let's skip this. The moon doesn't know with wolves. Okay, doing pretty decent. 55, and that wasn't a great spin, but we should easily get the next rent payment. Let's skip this. Oh, I should have taken the Oyster. What was I thinking? I forgot that the Oyster does have a synergy with Geologist. That's not great of me. That's a great hit there in this bronze arrow. 34 just from the Geologist, a big spin of 80. Goldfish is great for the goldfish bowl. And I now have a slight suspicion that I may have missed the goldfish along the way, but still 87, that's great. We don't need an urn, don't need anything really. Removal capsules will be pretty good at this stage, as they are always at this stage of the run, and we're doing pretty good. So we did make the 575 rent payment with 164 left over. 650 now due in 9 spins, shouldn't be a problem. Silver arrow is fantastic, and I think small symbol bomb is probably the best. We'll take an ore, and we'll take, that's pretty much it. Let's re-roll and let's skip that. Let's remove our worst symbol. This is worth 2 per turn, and this has a slight synergy with the sun, but really, how often does that trigger? I'm thinking flower probably is our worst item. Or plum. If it triggers once every 5 turns, that's better than plum. Plum and turtle are both pretty much the same. Plum is my only fruit, so it's not like I have to worry about Mrs. Fruit, so it doesn't really matter which one. I don't have anything for diver, so it's not, yeah, it doesn't matter which one. Let's take turtle. The only reason I took turtle there threw out turtle over plum is there's a slight chance we might get a fruit basket, so technically plum is slightly better, whereas we're not going to get anything else that buffs turtle, but it's not a large reason. Like, you can basically just throw out whichever one you want. Okay, that was a big turn there. Excellent silver arrow hitting the geologist for a huge 120. Yes, we should have no problem making the next rent payment. We'll just take a void creature. Okay, 77. If we can just stay at that rate, we'll do pretty good. We took a lucky capsule there. An egg would also have been a decent hit, but generally luckies are going to be better. Not in this case, however, because it gave us a pair for the third pair of this run, but unfortunately pair is just not where this run is going. Although I guess with all the arrows, maybe one pair wouldn't be too bad. Probably end up being like a 3 or 4 by the end, so yeah, I guess it'd be alright. Okay, now I have another chance to take Oyster, but to be honest, I don't think we need it, and there's a chance it'd like fill up our deck. If I had a few more empties, maybe I will, but we're getting over 77, so at this stage we've won the game and we don't need to take chances like with Oyster. We made the 675 rent payment with 310 left over. 700 now due in 10 spins. We don't need another tomb. We don't need a Beastmaster, so let's just skip this. And Maxwell the Bear is worth 1 per turn. Guillotine will be worth more only if we're offered at least one. If we're offered at least one billionaire between now and the end, that'll be worth more than Maxwell the Bear. So let's see if it pays out. We don't need any of these. 67 again, we don't need any of these. At this stage I'm probably going to be skipping most of the symbols that I'm offered if they don't actually tie into Geologist directly. Our Pearl does, so we'll take a Pearl. Yeah, this Sun and Flower seems to be hitting fairly often. And Oyster, I think, again, is just too much risk. If we were hoping to go endless, Oyster would be an instant pick. Another fish is great. We're now getting 3 per turn from the fish. We'll skip all of these. And still getting 70 per turn. Let's take a Pearl over a reroll capsule. At this stage it doesn't really matter which one we pick, so I'm not that fussed. Let's skip this. Okay, again, let's skip that choice. And we made the 700 rent payment with 441 left over. So at this stage we only need to get 33 per spin, so there's no way we're going to lose. All of these are okay. We did take Checkered Flag, so Robin Hood is pretty decent. Let's reroll, see if we get something better. Frozen Fossil would not be something for us. Mrs. Fruit would remove Plum, so let's take Mrs. Fruit, I guess. And out of these 3, Lockpick is the only one that might conceivably be useful to us. So at this stage we probably want to remove the Flower, I guess, or the Owl. The Owl is worth 1.5 and sometimes worth 4.5, but to be honest they're not great. Let's remove them. I kind of like having the Flower. Again, whether you remove the Owl or the Flower doesn't really matter at this stage. So just remove which one you like. And we don't want any of these. It's a bit late for coal. This one diamond has done a great job, but it's a bit late. And let's take a Pearl for the Archaeologist, as we do have empty spaces. This Sun and Flower are doing great work together. It's a bit late for Golem, so we'll just skip it. Again, if you were going endless, you'd take a Golem there. I don't know how long this would last in endless. Let's take Midas Bomb just to finish off the race. A giant Midas Bomb there with Geologist, and we must have hit a tomb or 2. So for a big 516, that's brilliant. And we'll actually get huge rolls as well because of all these. Well, maybe not too much. 59, okay. I was kind of expecting it to be a bit more because of all the tombs, but because of all the spirits, but it doesn't matter. We've already won. Midas Bomb was just to finish off the run in a spectacular fashion. Again, 5-sided dice is pretty decent. You could probably take it. but there's no need for us. We have made the last rent payment with 831 left over. This time your landlord was found guilty of crimes. So this run was pretty straightforward. A very, very early geologist. I think I got it before my second rent payment. And then for ages we actually didn't have anything to feed it. So during that time the run was carried by, we still had to pick up a few like things like the sloth and owls, tombs. Like the diamond actually came in a very opportune time, and actually swear jar was a big part of this run as well. Saved the run and gave us time to grow the geologist. So yeah, just a pretty decent run. I mean, being handed the geologist so early on is kind of like you're in with a good chance of winning, but there was still a few, you still had to play the first bit of the run pretty decently to get to the chance where the geologist could start to carry it. So I'm happy with this run. I'm happy with how I played it. I think I definitely have been getting better. Oh, we must have destroyed the, I think that's the only time I've ever destroyed a moon and seen it give cheese actually. Sorry, just got sidetracked there. I hope you guys enjoyed the run. If you did, give us a like, comment down below, let me know what you thought, and subscribe to see more videos every day. Until next time guys, take care of yourselves and cheers for now.